One of the last things I want to talk about is non-store retailing. A lot of ways of selling other than through a physical store. Direct selling, this is where you sell directly to the customer. This could either be a direct channel where you have a manufacturer selling directly to the customer, which happens a lot online. And also you might have salespeople as intermediaries. We talked about them as agents. And in the B2B world, direct selling is the rule rather than the exception. Salespeople come to you and we negotiate one-on-one. So yeah, door-to-door selling, party selling. Anybody done party selling? It started with Tupperware, but there's just all kinds of parties now.
They do like candle parties and jewelry parties.
The candle parties, yeah, exactly. The party model is you as a hostess invite some of your friends for a social occasion, and as part of that social occasion, we play some fun games and we show some products, and if people want to buy some of those products, that's great, and then as a hostess, I get a little reward for carrying the products. Again, it's a popular retail model. And then multi-level marketing, which is the Amway model, where in addition to selling products, I'm recruiting people to sell the product for me, so I'm actually building my own organization. There are some who, well, I'm not going to use the word scam because that would be inappropriate, but there are people who are sometimes concerned about the ethics of multi-level marketing, thinking that it might be closer to a pyramid scheme than a retail model. And the gospel according to Bruce, because I've been in those situations. I got roped into, I want to tell you something, can't tell you what it is, but you got to come to my house, it's a great opportunity. Is if in a multi-level marketing situation, if the emphasis is on selling product, is probably a good opportunity. If the emphasis is just on recruiting people, and you're not really talking about the product, but you buy your sales kit and then you get 5 people to buy their sales kit and they get 5 people to buy their sales kit, but nobody's talking about reaching the customer, developing a customer base, expanding the customer, the share of wallet, then to me that would be the distinction. If the emphasis is on meeting customer needs through the distribution network, then it's probably good because as a marketer we always want to be focused on the customer. If it's all about recruiting people and the product is secondary to recruiting people, then to me that might be a concern. Another kind of retailing is telemarketing, is direct selling over the phone. People hate it. They still do it. Why? Because it works. When we talked about, did we talk about that? No, we didn't. The reason that telemarketing still happens is if I call 900 people, excuse me, let me make the math easier. If I call 1,000 people, and I find one person that wants to buy my product, and I annoy 999 others, right? From a business perspective, it doesn't matter that I annoyed 999 people because they're not my customers anyway. The good news is I found a customer and I can begin to build a relationship with that customer. So the idea is because the people who aren't interested aren't customers anyway, it doesn't matter that much if I offend them, because what I'm really looking for is the occasional person who's going to be interested in what I have to offer. Yes?
Would you have to consider the opportunity cost for telemarketing and like the time that it spent to contact those 999?
So the comment was, don't we take into account the opportunity costs for telemarketing because you have to pay somebody to make those 999 calls that people don't answer unless you have a robo-dialer, where you have a computer annoy 999 people, and excuse me, you have a computer annoy 600 people, and then if somebody actually picks up the phone, then you have a person annoy the rest. Absolutely, it's a cost-benefit analysis. And if the cost of acquiring a customer is more expensive than the expected value of that customer, I'm not going to do it. But the point is that it's the non-customers. The annoyance factor is not part of the equation because the annoyance factor doesn't play into the expected value of a customer because they're not customers. Another kind of non-store retailing is vending. I love this, the firewood vending machine. Put in a quarter, get a log. And this is, again, a model that has been very popular in Japan for many years. It's beginning to make inroads in this country. It's not just for gum and cigarettes anymore, especially now that vending machines no longer have to take coins but can take credit cards or can take bills. We can start putting higher items into vending machines, and we're seeing cosmetics, mid-price electronics, all kinds of interesting things sold by vending machine. The advantage of a vending machine is you've got a convenient physical location. It's available 24/7. The disadvantage of a vending machine is it's in a visible location and it's available 24/7, and you've got to be careful that there's somebody watching it 24/7. And the last kind of non-store retailing is direct marketing. This is direct selling through an impersonal medium such as a catalog or a website. And this area has evolved. It started out with mail order catalogs, and it was about 6 years ago that the Journal of Direct Marketing changed its name to the Journal of what do they call it? Interactive marketing or something like that, recognizing that direct marketing is online. What's happened is originally the catalog was the selling device, and with today's model where the business is on the internet, the catalog becomes more of an advertising piece. So we're finding, you may have noticed, catalogs are getting skinnier. They have fewer products advertised, but they have bigger pictures and much better descriptions of the product. So the goal of the catalog is no longer to get you to buy the things you need. The goal of the catalog is to intrigue you enough to go to the website where you can find what you need. I have here two of the pioneers of mail order catalogs, Montgomery Ward and Sears. And there's an interesting bit of marketing trivia that to me was just fascinating, is how little details can make a huge difference in your business. You'll notice that the Montgomery Ward's catalog is larger than the Sears catalog, right? This is marketing genius. Do you know why? Fits in your mailbox? Good guess. So back in the olden days when they used these, you're the farmer, there's nobody around, and these books are like, look, all of the goods of the world are available to me. It was common for people to get both catalogs. Now do you see the genius? Montgomery had more stuff? Yeah. When you stack them, you put the smaller one on top. So everybody has both catalogs in their house, but the one on top is always Sears. Again, little details can make a huge difference in your business. Say yes?
Just a question real quick. Would what they made us do in elementary school with those catalogs selling to like our family friends, would that be direct marketing?
So what they did with the, you mean fundraising selling?
Yeah.
That's a,
And they do sell like wrapping paper, like Christmas.
sell wrapping paper, sell candy, sell Girl Scout cookies.
Stuff, Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Usually around the holidays,
Yeah.
make you like sell stuff.
Yeah, no, I would call that direct selling. I mean, you're recruiting the third graders as a sales force. I remember when our oldest boy went to kindergarten for the first day. The first day of school, he came home with a box that was bigger than him. He's 5 years old, and he's got to sell this junk. I couldn't call it that then because I was a parent. But yeah, that's direct selling. And the idea is to find that natural market, is the margins are higher because it's a fundraising opportunity. But yeah, a 3-year-old with a satchel and a 50-year-old with a fuller brush case, they're salespeople. So the last kind of retailing I want to talk about is e-tailing. That's the tale we tell. Yeah, that's just selling products over the internet. This is a model that has been in continual flux. Amazon probably has led the way in that in new equipment, and eBay is kind of the dominant in the resale market. And there's a couple of ways to play this. You can be a pure play e-tailer where it's all online. And for smaller businesses, for newer products, that's probably a good move. For larger businesses, we're seeing more of blended channels. There's a buzzword in marketing right now. It's called omnichannel marketing. And omnichannel marketing recognizes that a customer is going to experience your brand through any number of channels and through any number of devices. And they want to make sure that whichever path the customer has to experience your brand, the experience is consistent. So what we're finding with the blended model is sometimes called bricks and clicks, where I will have both a physical presence and an online presence, and there's advantages and disadvantages to each. So the physical presence, I can go to the store, I have the social experience, I can discover, I can touch, feel, try things on, but it closes. With the online, I have 24/7 availability. I can shop from the convenience of my home. The amount of merchandise that I can offer is dramatically greater on the internet than it is in an in-person store. They sometimes call that the long tail, is that if I'm going to stock something in a physical store, it has to have enough sales volume to justify putting it on my shelf. But if it's an online, I can afford to carry items that I might only sell 1 or 2 of a year because the cost of carrying that inventory is much less than in a store. So the breadth of products that I can offer online is much greater. And then you just work together. So I order online, pick it up at the store, I buy it at the store, unhappy with my product, I go online and get a return authorization, take it back to the store. But the idea is we use both of those together. Originally it started with the big box retailers moving online to try to compete with the likes of Amazon. We're finding now Amazon is starting to open physical stores in order to take advantage of some of the advantages of having a physical presence. So we're finding that the blended is a model that seems to be working right now.